Hello and welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Designing for the Desert, a webinar series where we explore how to design, build, and innovate for sustainable living in arid regions like the Bai and the wider Gulf. In our previous episode, we've heard from experts across architecture, design, and sustainability, and in each session has brought us closer to understanding how we can shape desert cities that are resilient, inclusive, and future ready. Today, we are delighted to welcome Dr. Mohammed Hassan, a highly respected specialist in sustainable urban development and transport systems. With a wealth of experience in mobility planning, infrastructure, design, and climate responsive strategies, Dr. Hassan brings a unique perspective on how cities in arid regions can evolve to meet the challenges of tomorrow. In today's session, we'll hear insights on sustainable transport, urban resilience, and the strategies that can help make desert cities more livable, connected, and human centered. So let's get started. Over to you, Dr. Hassan.
Yes, how are you, Odette? It's my pleasure to be with you today. I hope
Likewise.
we will have a very wonderful sessions today or webinars, online webinar, and inshallah we will go through several topics to speak about the desert cities, as you call it.
Yes.
But the most important things, how we think about our cities as a life creatures, and how we are dealing with the motions, the memory, and our activities in the urban fabric or in the urban environment. So that's affecting our life right now, and it's how it will impact the next generations, our kids and our future generations in these cities, how they will deal with it and how we will keep for them the memory to them.
Yes. Yes. That's very important. Yes.
Yes. So, inshallah, today we will start with the presentations. I hope the presentation has appeared to everyone. Uh, you can see it today.
It's just loading.
Okay,
Yes. It's
that's
loaded.
good. That's good. So today, inshallah, we will go through several things. First of all, I will give a brief about myself. You did it, but I will give a small brief about myself. My name is Dr. Mohammed Hassan. I am chief specialist in Dubai government. I work in several positions in several academic and professional titles. Through my journey, I learn a lot from a lot of people, and I hope today I learn more from this webinar with the audience, and even because I believe that every questions will add value to your career life and how it's shaping your visions and understanding for the urban planning or the strategic planning in the cities, and how you convert the people needs in these cities. First of all, we need to understand the city, define the city and the concept of the city. Cities, it's not only buildings, streets, and that's it. No, the cities is a bit different. I believe that the city is life and have nerve systems, and it have its own movement systems inside it, and its growth life, and it can be harm, and also it can feel well based on what we are doing in our city and the fabric of the city. And we need to know that the activities at the city, much it's come complicated, and much we make modernism in our city, it's make our life complicated, and we need to deal with these complications to make it more optimum, efficient, and implement the sustainability in our cities. Uh, Believe me or not, when I start this career, I thought that the sustainability is individual impact, but no, it's a community impact. We need to be hand on hand, and we shouldn't neglect any single bit of the sustainability, because the sustainability is a chain. When you lost one circle from this chain, you will lose the entire chain. So it's important to have this concept and this vision when we deal with our life and our cities, because what we are doing here, it will not impact our cities only, it will impact the entire planet. The To understand the urban environment, we need to know the component of the city itself. The component of the city, it's the populations, the people who live in the city, the buildings, and the infrastructures, the entire infrastructures. And not only that, we need to understand when we built our city, we built the city in a natural environment. So we need to deal with this natural environment, not to harm this natural environment. And that's what we will call it later on, the green agenda. So we need to understand this and how we will deal the built environment with the natural environment. So this need to be hand on hand to work and to gain the sustainability in our city. We have a lot of challenge due to the complications and the revolutions which we coming from the industrial revolutions and the technological revolutions. So based on the high speed of our lifestyle, the consuming of the things which we are dealing with it, the resources, we impact our environment. We are doing a lot of bad things to our environment. For example, you know that the air pollution is now killing a lot of people, and this is a silent killer. It's a true silent killer, and that's it's impacting our life. So the dust, the constructions of in the city, the pollutions, this all things, the wastage which we have, the conjunctions, these all things impact our cities. And we can categorize this urban challenge in the modern era in three main categories. The first one is the environmental category, the social category, and the infrastructure failure to accommodate the needs of the environmental and social. Uh, Honestly, more complicated the city is coming, because the more activities come in the city, we find that we have traffic conjunctions with the aging of our infrastructure is cannot accommodate the expanding or the increasing in our life. Also the material we are using in built our cities, it's affecting our environment with the heat island effect, the greenhouse gases, pollutions, as I mentioned before. This all lead in the social integrity that's happen, the poverty for the people, so they cannot afford their city. And to live in a sustainable community, it doesn't mean at all to left the lifestyle you want to live. uh, you should to live in very high lifestyle in the environment of sustainability, but with taking into considerations that you are not destroying the resources and reserve the resources for the upcoming generations. And that lead us to understand how this need to be translated in a framework to have a new urban theories and modern urban planning theories to shape our cities and take the urban decisions for growing our cities. In the past, we have a linear city which have a resources, we use the resources, and we have a wastage, a big wastage happen to our environment. Nowadays, the urban solutions and the urban evaluations, it should be, we have not a linear city, we have a circle city. This city take the resources, deal with these resources, and maximize the efficiency of these resources and use the maximum things we can use it, and produce a minimum wastage in our environment. And we need to think about how we can deal with this wastage to not harm the city, but to get the benefit from this wastage, to reuse it in something else can help our environment. So that will lead us to take a very important things to understand between the difference between the sustainability and the sustainable development. Sustainability is to have ecological balance between the resources and the usage of your things. So you need to very use your resources very efficient and in a good manner. But to succeed and implement this sustainability, you need to have something called a sustainable development, because people and the economy doesn't like sustainability because they think this is will impact their revenue and how they will grow in their economy with the sustainability. So we need a fourth pillar. It's called the policy decision making. So that's force the people and take the right way to implement the sustainable development. And this to reserve the resources for the upcoming generations and maintain the cities as it is or the environment as it is for the upcoming generation with equality to the current populations or the current people who live in this city to use these resources but not harm these resources. So that's need from the decisions making maker to have some evaluation tools. Evaluation tools, it's talking about the driven and the pressures we put it in the environment, how we put a pressure in our environment. Then we talk about the state what we have right now, then the impact of what we are doing currently, and how we can respond to this one. Then we come to the cycle again to check our response if it's good or bad, and if it's good, how we can maximize this goodness, and if it's bad, how we can put a mitigation plan to put the correct tools or correct decisions to this environment to succeed and reserve it in a good manner. So that's very important to know and understand that we need to have a balance between the built environment, which we will call here a brown agenda, such as the buildings, the streets, the infrastructures which we built in the city, and the green agenda. The green agenda, it's talking about the natural environment, the habitat which in this environment, how you are dealing with this environment, how you reserve this environment as it is without uh, uh, take over the build of the cities, and how you can make it maximize, because much harmony between these two agenda, much good life you will be there, and you will be in harmony with the ecological systems and the built environment. So that will lead us that we need a process to build this sustainable environment. And if you see here, we have 6 points. We can categorize in the four pillar for the sustainable development, as I mentioned previously. The first of all, we need to have a very clear regional strategic planning process, and we need to define exactly what we need to achieve in our countries or our cities. Then how we will legalize these systems or the regulation framework to implement this process and uh, implement the equality between all the people who live in the cities. So if you see in the first two points, it's mainly tackled the policy and the social, the first two point. Then we come to evaluate the urban development project. So this is tackle the social and environment. So we need to evaluate how the urban development is working and how we will implement this project in a manner to respect the environment and respect the sustainability in our city. Then if we go for point number four, we find that facilitate this development process. So we need to have the tools and the resources that help us to facilitate this development and how we can implement this in a good process to reach our goals, which coming from the regional strategic planning process. Then the finance, and that what we it's the main important, the economy one, the main important one. It's it doesn't mean, as I mentioned before, that if you live in a sustainability or sustainable city, that you are living the lifestyle which you are living right now, and live a poorer lifestyle. No, that it's totally wrong. Sustainability always uh, look for how to make the lifestyle of the populations much better and better with the balance with the environment. So it's like the value engineering. If you work in a value engineering, a lot of people when they are working in the engineering industrial, they think that the value engineering is to bring cheaper materials. No, it doesn't mean to bring a cheaper materials to the to the project. No, you have to bring much effective product. The life cycle of this product is higher, a very good quality in uh, cost efficient cost to this project. So with this balance, you will achieve the value engineering in your project, but not removing some items from your project, not thinking about to bring cheaper product to your project. Totally wrong. Then the most important things to succeed this cycle, the previous 5 point, is to involve the people and the populations, the local community, to put their perspective in the sustainable development, because the city is shaped for the people who lived on it. It's dealing. See, I always when I deal with the city, I think that the city is the body itself, the life, a live body, and we are the vents and the cells in our body or in the city, which give the life to this city. So once we life, the city will be life, and it will impact us. It can breathe, it can deal with us, it can digest the wastage which we are doing and how we are doing to it. So that it's very important to deal in this two way, to think about the cities like this. The streets, the infrastructure, for example, the roads is the vents. It's commuting the cells or commuting the mineral from one part to other part to produce something, then it's come back to this part to sleep and take the another cycle in the city. So it's very important to deal with the city in this way. This is the way we need to implement the sustainability. And I honestly believe that in our technological era right now, we have a very big advantage. And this is what I studied in my PhD, how we can be intelligent city, not a smart city. Smart cities is mainly stand on softwares or applications to be smarter, to gain data, but it need to to look after this data and analyze this data and then take decisions. Intelligent cities is the new era from the smart city, or a step ahead from the smart city. So the city itself can decide what it needs and how it can grow, what the decisions need to be taken for advantage for this city, what kind of project you can implement in these cities based on intelligence and data, which the big data which era which we are live on it. So how you can analyze these things, the city itself can take the decisions its own self, decide where it will be expand, what type of project will be expanded in this area, distribute the resources in the entire city. For and very great example for that, what's happened in COVID, the pandemic which happened in COVID. If you look in COVID time, the city itself, the resources distributions, it was equally on the city. And this is something not applicable in the COVID time, because the movement of the people in the city, it's reshaped, because they are in a pandemic, they sit in the houses. So you don't need to, for example, if you have a community for a housing community, or a community for people to live in, and the community or a neighborhood for working area, such as the business area, the CBD area in the city. So you don't need to distribute or put equal distributions for the resources between these two areas in the COVID time, because you need more in the community or the neighborhood rather than the CBD area, because there is nobody in the CBD area. Even if the public transportations, you need it in the community or the neighborhood rather than the CBD area, because nobody move in the CBD area. So you need to think how to gain this achievement without destroying the infrastructure, the current infrastructure in the city, and utilize the technology which we have right now. It's reshape our city and utilize it in a good manner, because we always when we start dealing with the new things, we take it in a bad manners, then we start educate from this one and know that we are doing these mistakes, then we reshape it again and use it in a good manner again. This is a small brief. I think I take more than the time that I should take it. But here is my email address and my LinkedIn. I thanks everyone who attended this webinar, or online webinar. And if anyone have any questions at any time, please, I'm very gladful to have these questions, because I believe that every question you will ask me, it will add to my personality something new, and will let me handle with this questions, or take it from another perspective, which reshaping my perspective to the topics, and how we can improve the process.
Superb. Thank you so much, Dr. Hassan. That was
You're
such a
welcome.
clear and thought-provoking session, actually. I really liked how you connected sustainability, mobility, and the human experience of the whole city. And another thing I really liked was how you used the analogy of the human body with the city, and its different parts, the different organs, including even the brain, and how we learn from our mistakes, and different experiences teach us how to be more resilient, more better, and prepare for the next time. So I think it was a really thought-provoking session. I'd love to spend the next few minutes digging a little deeper into some of the points that you raised. I've
Sure.
got a few questions lined up, and that should get us started with the discussion aspect. So let's jump into that.
Sure.
My first question is when you're defining cities in the desert, from your perspective, how do desert cities like Dubai redefine what a modern city can be, and compared to the older traditional models, the older urban models. I think you touched upon it a little bit when you talked about linear cities versus, now there's more complexity. So, how do cities like Dubai redefine or look at it differently for what a modern city uh, can be compared to other parts of the world?
Okay. See, honestly, for the desert cities in the GCC and or the Middle East, we are professionals in dealing with the hot city and the desert cities, and we have a good relationship with the heat and how to overcome this heat. And we have very good examples like Cairo City, Abu Dhabi, Mecca, Jeddah. So we have a lot of cities which it's not burned yesterday. It's have aging and how they are dealing with the heat and or the desert, weather condition in this desert area. So if you go to the past and see the fabric of that cities, it was always narrow streets, was with medium high buildings, which provide a shade in these streets. And this narrow street is it's allowing the wind to move very fast with a specific directions in the streets itself. So that's helped the city to reduce the heat from the surrounding. I understand in the
Mm,
era of the revolution, in the era of the revolutions, we have some mistakes. We did some mistakes in our cities, so we start taking the Western urban planning theories and the methodology or framework of these cities, and we implement a highways with wide streets, black, which it's not applicable in our environment, high-rise buildings with entire glass, normal
mm,
glasses. It's impact our life. So that's put us in a chain that's consuming a lot of resources because once you take a decisions to implement, for example, a wide road in the city, the heat island effect will increase the temperature degree in the city. So you start using the cooling to minimize this heating. So then the machines itself produce a heat, then you need more cooling. So you start this chain and you start these cycles in your life. So but nowadays, really, I'm really like the way that the governors like Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed, Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid, they are looking to the city, or they're looking to their countries. They want to implement something unique and also to bring the awareness for their people and the people who live in their country to understand the value of the life, the value of the resources, and doesn't left the lifestyle they are living. See, Dubai is one of the nice city in the world with very high lifestyle, but in parallel, we have the regulations, we have the laws in the Dubai city to minimize the use of the resources, get the maximum efficient. Uh, do, Such as, for example, I will give you one very good example. Right now, Dubai municipality right now they starting green the roof of the buildings, and they make some advantage for the people. Uh, Also, for example, and the other way, the entire city is looking for reducing the number of individual car in the city and try to shift the people from this individual car to the public transportation to reduce the heat island effect and reduce the carbon emissions which you produce it from using the car, the greenhouse gases, reduce the pollutions in your air, reduce the heat in the entire city. So that decisions, it's need a lot of work, and the work, this a lot of work, it will not happen by pressing one button. No, you need to take a lot of time to increase the awareness for the people, the new generations, let them know about what the difference between the individual car, public transportation, how that will impact their life, how this will impact their next generations. The new generations will come to this city. So once they understand, they will start a bit by bit to move from individual car to the public transportation, for example. And the government, Dubai government, is working hardly to integrate all the mode of transportations by not only to connect it in a main hub as a transportation hub, no, and also they are looking for the movement, the individual movement inside the city, like walkability, micro mobility. So they have a very forecasting vision to this city to become leader in sustainability. And this is not coming from only Dubai, that is come, it's from the entire strategy for UAE, the entire strategy for UAE to be the first renewable producing of energy worldwide. So that's the vision. And I think all the rulers of the Emirates, United Arab Emirates, are working hardly to achieve these goals.
Superb. So that's very promising to know that, right from the top, everybody is kind of aware, pushing for this, and trying to be the world leaders in sustainability and how sustainability can be incorporated into all of these aspects. That's a very promising thing, and I look forward to be part of that story.
Sounds
Um, Coming to the next question, urban challenges as opportunities. You highlighted global urban challenges such as heat and density, and how some of these challenges, you also mentioned some of them might be challenges of culture which came in at some point early in the story, then that kind of changes. So how do we change some of these challenges into opportunities for innovation, and how would that process look like compared to from where these challenges come and how we convert them into opportunities?
okay. As see, I will be honest with you. Dubai is very attractive for a lot of people worldwide to live in it. So that's need to expand the city if we keep in the traditional way of uh, built our city to the maximum. And that's something it's not sustainable because we need to reserve our environment, the green agenda, as I mentioned. And what's happened right now, if you heard about the news, there is a lot of areas in the Emirates of Dubai. His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid keep it as a reserve area. So that's to keep and make the balance between the green agenda and the brown agenda. So, what decisions taken when they announced about the 2040 strategic plan? The decisions taken to look after the lands which not utilized yet in the built area, so we can utilize it. And how we can utilize it, which kind of activities will be, and they decide to make it a mixed use communities to minimize the traveling, minimize the resources you need, the power resources you need to travel in the city, minimize the greenhouse gases in the city, pollutions. So that will help you to shape the city in a way that all what you need, it's in your community itself, so you can deal with it and impact your life in a good manner rather than going something build mega projects, unnecessary mega projects. We have a lot of land, it's not utilized yet, so we destroyed our environment and we doesn't utilize the resources in a good manner.
Hmm, hmm, hmm. Understood. So that could be one of the ways in which we change, and change challenges, make them into opportunities for growth
Yes.
and the future growth of the city.
Yes.
Wonderful. Moving to my next question, the human scale in urban design. So you spoke about the importance of the scale, but like some of the examples you gave of the smaller streets and looking at, from the smallest experience, the individual person is the cell of the organism, and how that then links up to the larger scale. So, could you share some examples of how Dubai is making, more people-friendly spaces and from the smaller or the larger scale while working on urban development?
Yeah, true. See, I will be honest with you. Dubai have a two challenge, not one challenge. It's not about the environmental challenge and the human skill only. It also have another challenge, the diverse of the cultures of the people who live in Dubai. We have around 204 culture here live in Dubai from 204 countries live in Dubai. So
Wow.
and Dubai, honestly, it's doing a lot of effort to do this balance. You will never feel in Dubai that you are away from your culture, and also you will feel that your culture is in harmony with the local culture, and this is something it's really tough. Yani it's yeah, but they succeed on it. They succeed on it because they are working hardly to make the balance between the people who live here, listen to them, and trying to dissolve this culture with their cultures to become some things new to the natural and can deal with it. So this really, really very good. On the other hand, Dubai start doing, I understand we have some mistakes. Every country in the world have some mistakes, but we Dubai is learning from their mistakes. For example, we built a new areas. We decide to have, for example, maybe 20 years back, it's not necessary to build greenery inside the community. Now it's mandatory for any developer to have a green area landscape to add value to this community. It's mandatory. And if you look to all the new development, it's you will find that there is a green area, the lung of this community, which can breathe and clear the air pollutions, uh, make better life, reduce the heat inside the city, and they take the people need and the human skills in their buildings, so they start build the community with all the needs without going uh, in a way that it's so far from the human needs. Yes, we have a modernism like a business bay area with high-rise buildings, which it's sometimes you feel that you are very little between these high-rise buildings. But on the other hand, when they start building this community or the high-rise building, they make a good spacing between each buildings. So that's helped the people to find that they have a relationship between the community itself. They have a feeling with the space or the urban fabric. So that's helped them to understand dealing with each other, have the activities between each other. So that's helped the community to live more. Not only each organ work individually and there is not talking to each other.
Right, right. So there are these large buildings, and the space between the buildings is what we are trying to see. The connections, the people, the movement of the people
Yes,
happening between the spaces, the larger buildings, and the smaller spaces are where the people can somewhat, share and interact and create
yes,
a new culture of sorts. And
yes,
in that, you also have a similar scale of trees, nature, plants at the same scale as well. So that's what kind of brings it together and addresses the issue of the scale aspect
yes.
from the human scale to the larger urban scale. Beautiful. So um, when we're talking about balancing the built environment and the environmental protection and social systems aspect, where because those are also similar systems that are put in place, right, for all these different layers to interact. When what in your opinion, what are some of the success stories from Dubai that showcase the integration working in a good way, in an effective way.
Okay, see, I will tell you one big or large project that's happened recently in Dubai. That if you the restoration area in Jabal Ali area, it's announced by His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid, and also Al Khairan area. So that's because he believed that the natural environment should be part from the built environment. He reserved this area and he started to doing some activity to let the people connect with their environment, to add a value for the people, to let the people understand the value when they connect with their environment and how this will impact their life. uh, Dubai have a lot of projects to balance between the health environment, the building environment, the environment, natural environment itself. So they try to do the balance between all the activities which happen in the city and also the natural environment. Dubai now, right now, need to reach the 20 minutes movement city. That will help the people more to move inside the city. This will let the people see and become out of their insulations from the social media and the devices which we hold it the entire time in our hand. So that's what will make a connections between you and the place which you are living. So once this connection is built, you will start thinking how I can improve my environment. Honestly, see our generations, when you go back to your home country or you start moving in the city you live, when you are in a childhood, you feel that there is some memory connect you between the place which you are and what you live in the past, and you start thinking about this place, how I can make it better, how can I do the balance between the place which I live and the environment itself. Nowadays this connections is begin to be lost, but with the visions, with the right decisions, the strategic visions we are putting, such as in Dubai or in Abu Dhabi, we need to build these connections again. We start build this connection again. Let the people deal with their environment, understand how they can connect, how they can make their life better, not only with the tools which we have right now, no, but you will find individually people will think to add value to their communities. And that's what's happened when you start opening the, for example, if you have innovations, Dubai or idea, Dubai are welcoming anybody have idea to implement their idea in the city, this idea can have a good impact on the city. So it's very important to link these two together and make the connections between the individual persons with the community and the environment.
Beautiful. So, thank you. That was a very on point answer to that question, and how we can link up the various different systems. And also that it's good to know that there's so much space for welcoming new ideas and implementing, ideas that come up from the people themselves. So, my next question is about the role of data in the planning process. And you mentioned urban metabolism and ecological footprint analysis, right? So, how is data and technology shaping the way in how Dubai plans for, its sustainable urban master planning or the urban future, and making that more sustainable?
Okay, Dubai City, one of the leaders in the data-driven cities. So they are have a lot of data, and they are working hardly, really, to have this massive data and deal with it. Honestly, to have this big data and utilize it very well, it's bit challenge. It's a very big challenge, and you need to think about that. Imagine that you have a library with 100,000 book, and you need to read all these books in a minute. So it's a big challenge. It's really it's challenge. So how to utilize this data and upcome with a project that's suitable for the people and can serve the people need, that's the most valuable things in the life. So for example, Dubai using a lot of technology, such as the data that's coming from Noel card or from Salic, or even from your registrations and movement in the city, your feedback on the CRM systems. So that's all data. It's coming in one place. They start analyze this data and check the value of this data and how they can implement it, a project that can serve all the need of the people itself. And honestly, Dubai is, or the UAE have the Ministry of Happiness. Who's having the Ministry of Happiness worldwide? So they need to listen to the people, because they, if they listen to their people and they build what the people need to reshape the community, the people will come happy. A lot of
Hmm.
products worldwide happen, but nobody happy with this product. But once the companies or the innovations listen to the end user, know, understand what they need, they will start customize the things which they are doing to the people need.
All right, all right. Super. So all of this data that's being collected and being used is actually kind of contributing to a better life for the people, better infrastructure, better planning, and that's already in place, and it's looking at people's happiness as the end goal to kind of measure and understand the success of each of these different implementations. So wonderful. That's really nice to know. Um, Moving on to my last couple of questions. You talked about the circular economy in cities, right? And this circular economy or the circular systems play a role in shaping the sustainable desert cities as well, right? So, um, how do you think that everyday urban life can also contribute and integrate with the larger circularity of the system?
Okay. To answer these questions, I want to begin with what's economy first. Because people
Mm,
always think that the economy is the money. It's they are talking when you start calling economy, they think about only the money. But the economy have a pillar. This pillar, it's helping the economy to move. For example, I will tell you a very good example. Do you think that the conjunction, the street conjunctions, it's impacting the economy? Because you think that the conjunctions, people when they are on the street sitting for couple of hours in their car without reaching their work, or when they going back to home, that will not impact the economy, and this is totally wrong. The main engine for the economy to move is the human. So if I make the travel between your home and your work very easy and smooth, and you take the sufficient amount of rest, and you reach an easy way without stress, without anything, you will innovate in your work, and you start moving the economy, the finance, the money, the liquid. So you start moving the economy, and you increase the GDP of the city, the entire city itself, or entire country itself. So, and in the urban industry, we call that this is the burning energy, the burning energy in the street, because we get you exhausted to the office, so you are totally knocked out, so you cannot innovate in your work, and you cannot do your work in a sufficient way. And even if when you go back to home, you destroy your social life because you are tired in home, so you cannot talk to your kids, to your wife, and this is a big trouble for everyone. So you need to talk. So this will destroy the entire community, not only the economy. So circular economy need to focus in how we can utilize the people, make them more productivity to their community, and also how we can utilize what happened in city, in our city, in a sufficient way and sustainable way, to reuse, not only to consume uh, resources. No, how we use the resources, reuse the outcome of these resources, reuse it again, and take the maximum efficient. Then we go to the end life. And once we go to the end life, what we will do with this wastage will come. We need to deal with it for يعني for example, I will give you an example. Europe are a leader in this. When they have a building with age of, for example, 500 years, 400 years, they think how to reuse these buildings to maximize the benefit from this cell from the body of the city, entire body of the city. So it can produce some liquid or money in the GDP. It can be a place people can visit. So it will generate movement in the city. So it will impact the GDP, the economy, and the lifestyle of the people who live in this city. So, as I told in the beginning, it's a chain. You cannot neglect something and you will succeed. It's like the timing chain in your car engine. If you lost a part from this timing chain, all the entire system will lose the tempo of the movement of the city.
Beautiful. That was a really good example, and I think it really clearly shows us what all of these different aspects play a role in actually defining what outcome happens. Um, the simple example, especially what I liked, was of how the traffic junction can actually affect your personal life. It can affect your career life, and how you contribute and how eventually all these people add up. to your GDP and the economy. So that's really small, something that we don't think about, but actually has a very, very lasting and serious impact on
Yeah,
the city's economy. That's something that I really liked.
but by
That
the way,
thought and that idea.
Odit, by the way,
Yes.
when Dubai decided to make the metro due to the conjunctions on the street, the added value of the metro, it's not only for moving people from point A to point B in a smooth way, but it also impact the land value surrounding the metro, and the rental there it's become higher. So the people itself who's living in this area, or they own these plots, they gain benefit
Hmm.
from it. And also
Hmm.
it's shaped the city, so people is trying to live more closer to the metro, so that's to make their life easier in the city, travel time on the city much easier. So for
Hmm.
that, for that right now, Dubai it's announcing also the blue line, which it will come sooner in 2028, inshallah. And they have a big visions for that, how to connect not only the community itself inside the city, but also how to connect the Emirates itself, the Emirates of Dubai, with the other Emirates surrounding to the Emirates of Dubai.
Wow. Wow. So this is kind of like the skeleton of the city that's emerging and evolving and connecting and creating a whole kind of definition of how the city is going to grow
Yeah.
now and into the future.
Yes.
So, my final question to you is actually about the future and looking into 2050 or 2040 into the future. Uh, when you look at Dubai, what is your vision of how the city will be, developed, how it will be remembered in terms of sustainability, livability, and resilience? So, just a quick, short description of what you imagine the city to be by the time it reaches 2040 or 2050, sometime from now.
Honestly,
That's my last question.
honestly, I believe Dubai will be a model, or UAE will be a model for other countries to deal with the challenge, the environmental challenge or the urban challenge in the coming era. Because believe me, the governors of these countries are working and have a very good forecasting for the future. They have also how they speed the future. They bring the future to now, to the time being, to reshape the cities and implement a new idea, such as the hyperloop, which you mentioned in the beginning. How the hyperloop will be implemented in Dubai, the flying taxi, Etihad Rail, a new technology. If you have the self-driving cars in the city, how this will impact. They are thinking now how this will impact and reshape the city itself, the streets, the usage of the people inside the city. So all these things, I think Dubai and UAE will be a leader in this subject worldwide, and the entire world will come to learn from the achievement which will happen from Dubai to implement it in their country. And this is something really, really, it's very good, because this built in a strategic and a visions, a very clear visions. They know what they want to reach, they understand very well what they want to reach and where and how they will reach this. And I will give you a statement that His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid gave it in the race of excellence. There is no a final line, so you will need to be always challenge yourself and implement new ideas, uh, make a dynamic, resilient thoughts, frameworks to implement, and that's help the city to grow and modify and digest whatever it's come to it to deal with it.
Super. Thank you so much, Dr. Hassan, for that engaging and insightful presentation. The way you've connected sustainable mobility, design strategies, and the human experience in arid regions has given us plenty to think about. It's clear that shaping future ready cities requires not only technical expertise, but also vision, collaboration, and adaptability. To our audience, thank you for staying with us and being part of this dialogue. We hope today's session leaves you inspired to reflect on the opportunities we all share in designing better, more resilient communities. Until then, stay curious, stay climate conscious, and keep designing with purpose. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Uh, Odette, I think there are some questions in the chat.
Okay, let's take a look at the questions as well. Do we have some
Okay.
more time?
Yeah, I'm here. So if or I can reply
All
to
right.
them on the chat.
Maybe we can take one or two questions that you find to be interesting, and we can take that forward.
Okay. There is a questions. It's which desert-based city achieved the. Okay, this good questions. It's a talk about the intelligent city and which the most desert city achieved the intelligence.
Okay.
Okay, I think intelligent city is a new idea. Okay, it's doesn't implement fully right until now, but it's a subject in the field of academic field. It's appear, and we are working on it to implement it on the city. I think Dubai will be a leader on that because they have a sufficient amount of data, uh, can help the city to go and implement this intelligent city, this concept or this framework in the city to become the leader on the desert city in the as an intelligent city, especially with the good infrastructure in the telecommunications, which built here in UAE. So that will help to implement this.
Super. Any other questions?
I think there is one Aisha Masood. She had a questions also. The initiatives for increasing the public transportation frequency and having a policy framework regarding number of personal private vehicles impact in the sustainable development goals. Okay, Aisha is talking about the framework, the policy and the framework about the public transportations and how number of personal private car ownership impact the sustainable goals. See, honestly, to Aisha, I will reply this questions. We cannot convert from a private car to public transportation in as a press of button, as I mentioned, because if you go to the American cities or the methodology of the American cities, they their concept is built to have a car city, and honestly, the entire Middle East is uh, getting the new learning and the new visions or framework from the American cities, and they implemented in their urban planning. But right now, there is a hard work and from the governors to overcome this thought and built a new policy, such as if you look to Dubai, they built or they implement the SALIC, The SALAC purpose is to reduce the number of movement of the car, because in the UAE we don't have a tax in individual, so such Europe or United States. So we need something to reduce the amount of car on the street. So we built SALIC. We try to make the infrastructure of the public transportation much easier, connect this network with of different mode or different vessels with each other by integrated walkability or the movement pavement of the streets, also as well as the micro mobility such as the e-scooter, e-bike, or the bike itself. So that will help the people for the first last mile to convert slowly from the private car to the public transportation. So that's the goals which put it by the governors to implement this and reshape the city thought about individual car to public transportation. And not only the public transportation, they are working hardly in different things, such as the health, the how they make the people life more better, connect the people, as I mentioned before, with the environment or the urban fabric, connect the people with each other. So that's will reshape the city again and again. And Dubai city is very resilient and can digest anything. By the way, I believe that.
Super. Thank you so much for those insightful answers to those very interesting questions as well. Thank you, Aisha and Shireen, for your questions and for paying attention to the entire webinar from start to end. I'm sure that there will be more viewers who come in and watch this webinar after we close the webinar for today, after the live session. And I will look forward to having you answer some of those questions as they come in over the next week or so. Thank you
Inshallah.
once again, Dr.
All right.
Hassan. Thank you
Thank
once
you.
again. It was a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.